and welcome to the AAU TV News, and we are coming to you from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities in Accra, Ghana. And my name is Lydia Nyame. With me,
Jimai Madaladam Doche.
And now the headlines on higher education. Africa launches powerful supercomputers. And again, university starts mid-year exam with strict measures.
And in our health news, the right 5 a day mixed fruit and 3 vegetables serving for long life. And also air pollution puts children at higher risk of disease in adulthood.
I must say we are looking beautiful in our outfits, kind courtesy GTP Textiles Ghana Limited.
And do well to follow us on our social media handles, Facebook and YouTube at Association of African Universities. Also do well to share with us your comments. We'll go for a quick break.
Welcome back from the break. And Mohammed VI Polytechnic University in Morocco has launched Africa's most powerful supercomputer center with the aim of supporting Moroccan and African academic and industry research and helping to create the next generation of computational scientists and digital entrepreneurs. The new African Supercomputing Center was set up in partnership. Oh, that's an amazing one coming from Morocco, is Supercomputer Center. But Jimmy, I want to find out from you, how exactly does this great move affect academic and research in universities in Africa?
Okay, I'll talk about data analysis. You know, data analysis is one important part of our research. And, you know, our average normal computers are not able to analyze data gathered from a country's population. But, you know, with the invention of supercomputers, it's going to do that, and not only do that, but, you know, do it as a shorter period, because our average computers are going to take a very long time to actually get us the information or analyze the data that we have. But with the invention of supercomputers, I know it's going to make it faster and more, you know, accurate result.
Yeah. You know, personally, one feature that I am so much intrigued about when it comes to supercomputer is speed. Supercomputers offers amazing speed, and that is exactly what I think Africa needs, because Africa is a continent which has been entitled with that notion that we are not good in research. But has someone ever sat to actually think or talk about the reasons why our research are always somewhere that it is not supposed to be? Personally, I think it's because we do not have access to equipment. With this supercomputer center being established, I think our research is going to take a really, really great milestone. Because with research we need equipment. A supercomputer center is offering basically that. So I think it's
let me talk about one. You know, it will be cost effective, because research in Africa requires a lot of input, human resources, equipment, as you said. And with the invention of supercomputers, it's going to cancel out the human resources, and the supercomputers is going to do everything as quick and, you know, as accurate as we want it. So I think it's a good step in our African country.
Indeed, supercomputers is a good step in these African countries. Now moving on to our next higher education story. Egyptian universities commenced mid-year exam on February 27 amid strict precautionary measures against the spread of the coronavirus. The Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research issued a statement on Friday calling on students to adhere to all precautionary measures, including being present at the campus before the exam, according to the announced schedule, and to keep face masks on entire during their stay in the examination committee and university. Students will not be allowed to enter university without a face mask, the ministry warned. All students must also bring their own tools to the exam, with no tools allowed to be shared between students. The ministry added social distancing must be strictly enforced, which includes no handshakes or physical contact. It stressed that the school's administration must be notified of any symptoms or sick history before the admission examination committees dedicated to sick students. The ministry further recommended the use of sterilizing alcohol tools for each student and that they carefully depart the committee individually as soon as the exam is over from the designated exit. At Benha University, the director of the university's Central Department of Crisis and Disasters, Ibrahim Raje, said that the maximum degree of readiness had been announced in preparation for the first semester exam in their various faculties of the universities. These measures include providing disinfectant, following up on infections, providing sterilization gates for each faculty, and raising the degree of readiness within university hospitals and the university's medical department. Well, that is also a great one coming from Egypt. But I must say that Egypt, as it stands now, has over 180,000 COVID-19 cases with 10,000 deaths. But you know, that alone baffles my mind, because given the fact that Egyptian universities had to ask students to come back home to because of the second spike of COVID-19, and this same country is saying students should come back to school to have their exam. Jama, do you think it is advisable to ask students to return back to school, especially in a time like this?
I think one major reason why students are being called to come and write exam on campus, I think, is to control exam malpractice, you know, and also to curb the internet challenge. I think that is one reason, but I don't know to what extent, because right now the second spike of COVID is actually taking lives and is doing a lot in various countries. But I would say that it will be, you know, advisable, because we are learning online. So why don't we just continue to write our examinations online? But why would we learn online and come and write exam in face-to-face?
But you know, you did mention exam or practice, which I find quite funny, because I mean, everyone who has completed school and then comes to the job market realize that honestly, the things that are being taught in school, only a few are being practiced online. So are you telling me that these things that we are learning on campuses that perhaps will not even be of any use when we come out here are being, I mean, because of that, they are asking students to go and risk their lives. Is it worth it?
I would say no, it's not worth it, because I think the online should work. The online should work because I think recently I spoke to someone who was complaining that they actually had studies online. The whole semester went online. But when it was time for them to write an exam, they told everyone to come to campus and sit and write the exam. I understand that even though there might be, you know, they allow everybody to wear the masks, they allow the spacing will be there and all that. But why would you risk someone's life? Because the seat the person is going to sit on, who has touched the seat? And how safe is that person who has touched the seat?
You know, I personally think Africa has deliberately refused to progress.
To learn,
Especially when it comes to COVID-19 and how things are being managed. When COVID came, a lot of universities were doing in-person learning. But COVID came and then a lot of them had to shift from in-person to online. Why is Africa alone? I mean, why do we alone want to go back to in-person when the very issue that occurred and for that reason we had to go back to online is still in the air? Why can't African universities just stick to online? Because what is the point in learning online and then coming to the classroom to write their exam? But
maybe they just want to test your IQ because you've been staying home and you've had the internet to yourself to actually do a lot. So I don't know though, but I'm just speaking from my opinion.
I mean, these are some crucial conversations. But you know, what are some of these precautionary measures the schools are saying they are putting in place, and how are they being enforced?
You know, our precautionary measures, the washing of the hands, the wearing of the masks, sanitizing whenever you touch something. But you know, this can only be enforced when there is punishment given to students who do not do what they are supposed to do. Because students, sometimes are stubborn, let me put it that way. And you know, they will feel reluctant to wear a face mask when they are going to school. Sometimes I see them on the road, and when they are going, they are not in it. But they get to the gate and you see them fixing their nose masks and all that. So I think in order for this to be enforced, I think that punishment should be given to the students who refuse to actually adhere to the protocols. Yes.
But you know, to what extent will these students adhere to the measures?
You know, it's you see, almost all the universities have had these measures put in place for them, including, you know, spacing out staff and all that. But it will go a long way when the school's authority actually enforce or look into it that it is being done well by the student.
You know, personally, I think students are stubborn, just like everyone else. I mean, I think what we see in society is definitely going to be a reflection of what would happen in the various schools. Because if these students, when they are home, they do not wear it, if citizens are not wearing it, what shows that these students would wear it? Because believe you me, there are some students, some people who do wear their mask, who follow the measures because their parents want them to do. Because when my mother sees me, when my father sees me, he won't be pleased. But here's the case, these children are going to school without their parents. Do you honestly think they would adhere to the measures?
I think that's why the teachers are available. Their school authorities are there to also make sure that as they come to the classrooms, they are able to adhere to the measures, just as when they are home, their parents will let them.
You know, honestly, that's actually the only option we have. So we'll go for a quick break, and health news is up next after the break.
Welcome back from the break, and to our health news. Health consumption of fruits and vegetables is associated with a low risk of death in men and women, according to a data representing nearly 2 million adults. 5 daily servings of fruits and vegetables eaten as 2 servings of fruit and 3 servings of vegetables may be the optimal amount and combination for a long life. Studies representing nearly 2 million adults worldwide show that eating about 5 daily servings of fruits and vegetables, in which 2 are fruits and 3 are vegetable, is likely the optimal amount of a longer life, according to new research published today in the American Heart Association flagship journal Circulation. Diets rich in fruits and vegetables help reduce risk of numerous chronic health conditions that are a leading cause of death, including cardiovascular diseases and cancer. Yet, only about 1 in 10 adults eats enough fruits or vegetables, according to the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. For these analyses, researchers also pulled data on fruit and vegetable intake and death from 26 studies that included about 1.9 million participants from 29 countries and territories in North and South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia. Well, this is really interesting, you know, with a study indicating the right proportion is 2 fruits and 3 servings of vegetables. But then, how will a layman know which fruit and vegetables to include and which ones to take out?
You know, I personally think as human as we are, we do know ourselves, because the intake of certain fruit is dependent on your system.
Yes.
There are some people who have got issues with their lungs, issues with their liver, issues with their kidney, ulcer. So, depending on your health, because, I mean, if you find out from any ulcer patients, they'll tell you that because of their ulcer, they are not permitted or allowed to eat fruits that has got acid in them. So fruits like pineapple, fruits like oranges, and a lot of them are not, they are not being allowed to take it. So as an ulcer patient, then you know you are supposed to put yourself away when it comes to acidic fruit. I mean, I'm sure all the other diseases have fruits that they are not supposed to take. So if perhaps you are fit enough, then you know that, yes, I'm supposed to take all sort of fruit, all sort of vegetables. But people with health complications know that this particular ones must be exempted.
I would also say that it apart from our health sectors helping us, it would also come from us as individuals, because we should get to know the importance of fruits and vegetables in our system. Right now there is COVID and we talk about boosting our immune.
Exactly.
So we should eat, good fruits, good vegetables that will help us boost our immune. When someone is educated on, reasons why you should eat fruits and vegetables, I think it shouldn't stop there. You, the individual, you should make it a habit to be taking fruits, continuously, vegetables, the good one and the fresh one as well, to help
When was
boost
the
you.
last time you took in fruit?
I think yesterday. Yeah.
It was 3 days ago, so I guess mine is bad.
Okay, but how do we encourage, eating fruit and vegetables, since it reveals that 10 adults eat fruit or vegetables? How do we encourage?
I personally think one way of encouraging people to take in a lot of fruit and then vegetables is through education. I mean, someone might say that you always talk about education, but honestly, education has got no end.
Yeah,
exactly. Knowing that you should take in fruit and vegetables is different from understanding why you should take it. Just because you know you should take in water does not mean you will take it. But if you understand that if you take in a lot of water, it prevents kidney stones and then kidney diseases. Exactly. So I personally think people should be educated on it. People should be able to understand why they should eat it. Because the study says taking in a lot of fruit and vegetables, which is 5, 2, and 3 each, would there are people who have lower risk of dying from cardiac diseases, from lungs, liver. We all know that yes, taking fruits and vegetables is good. But do we actually understand how good it is?
That even makes my point about we ourselves making it a habit. Because we know the diseases, we know our risk of getting infected with some diseases. But then if we go to the hospital and the doctor or the nurse says take this fruit, or I think even the health sector should actually add it to our medications. It would actually help, because when they tell you after taking your medications add fruit, you don't have any choice, because as at that time you want to get healed. So whatever you will do to get better, I think you will do it.
It's true. I agree with you when you say our health practitioners should inculcate that in what they do. Because we should be able to understand why we eat it. But when it's coming from them, when they're encouraging us, I guess we will take it more seriously.
Okay, so we will take it more seriously. Moving on, a new study reveals evidence that early exposure to dirty air allergens in a way that could lead to adult heart disease, among other elements. The findings could change the way medical experts and parents think about the air children breathe and inform clinical interventions.
Our future craves clean air, but air pollution is increasing. We are facing an emergency. 9 out of 10 children do not breathe safe air. Children are closer to the ground, to car exhausts and indoor smoke. They breathe faster than adults, taking in more of the polluted air. And their developing bodies are more likely to be damaged by the toxins in the air. Every year, 600,000 children die from breathing polluted air. Before a baby takes her first breath, she's being harmed by the toxins her mother is inhaling.
This is quite interesting. But then what do you make of children living in urban areas, because they are really faced with such situations?
It is sad, but that is the truth. Children who live in urban areas are definitely exposed to such things. Because in this same urban areas is the places we find sorry to say this, but Ghana, or let me say Africa, is a country where all sort of trash is being exported.
It's being allowed into the country.
Exactly. Specifically, I'm referring to the cars. When you walk in the streets and then you take a critical look at the kind of cars that are driving on the streets, honestly, it is bad. And it is also sad. And these are the cars that produce the worst fumes. And should you ask health practitioners to tell you about how these fumes go a long way to affect our health, it will be. It is so sad.
It's very
but
sad.
Here's the case: nothing is being done about it. Each and every day, cars are being export cars damaged cars are being exported, and when we see it, we are so much happy about it. So
It's
honestly,
been allowed in the country, yeah.
you know, so with all of these being exported, how do we expect the children to be safe? Because once they are coming, they live in the same environment. So whatever is in the air is what they breathe in. So it's quite sad.
But that draws me to pregnant women, my attention to pregnant women who smoke and are exposed to these fumes. What do you think of their situation too?
You know, pregnant women who smoke.
Yeah.
I think personally, okay, being a pregnant woman alone makes you vulnerable. So if a pregnant woman actually understands the risk of smoking, the question is, why would a pregnant woman smoke in the first place?
But do you know, one says that when you are pregnant, you know, you tend to feel for a lot of things. Some even go to the extent of, you know, doing things they've never done before because of what the pregnancy is craving for. So would you say, you know, it is the pregnancy that is craving for, you know, the smoke?
I mean, this is a controversial, but I mean, I haven't been there, so I can't tell. But I think if people understand the effects of smoking, then a pregnant woman would not even venture it at all, you know. You know, that is all for the news. And in wrapping up our headlines on higher education, Africa launches powerful supercomputers. And again, university starts mid-year exam with strict measures.
And in our health news, the right 5 a day mixed fruit and 3 vegetables served for a long life. And also air pollution puts children at higher risk of disease in adulthood.
I must say a big thank you to GTP Textiles Ghana Limited for our beautiful looks, and thank you very much for staying with AAU TV News as we inform and educate. My name is Lydia Nyame.
And I am Jimai Madaladem Duchi.